Let's take a look at our bans, however, because you know, we only play on one map, so we got to figure out which one we're actually going to be going for. We saw Coastline in our first best of one. We'll see if we'll get anything else. I haven't seen Villa so far.
No, we are being teased with that week after week. Obviously,
New Clubhouse.
Playday one couldn't have, but Clubhouse we have seen one from Latin America. So they were the brave ones to bring that out. But who will be next to bring it?
Yeah, bring it. Let's see. Oh,
bring
Villa will be the first ban for Rogue.
Well, we know they are not keen to play it anytime soon.
We might be seeing it within the week. I hope so. Well, Bank will be removed by mousesports, followed by Clubhouse, with the graphics, and Oregon.
Right,
Oregon,
well.
that Oregon looks suspiciously like Bank. And there you go. We're left with Coastline. At the end, we get to play Coastline again. The thing is, Rogue and mousesports play Coastline very differently than Noble and SK Gaming. So this is definitely a way to explore different ways of playing similar sites.
What I'm interested to see in that is we saw a bit of a stunted roam, I would say, from SK. But I think Mouse have a pretty good set of roamers on their team, especially people like Vertical. Yeah, absolutely Vandal as well sometimes. And I think Hyper could potentially be a bit of an aggressive roamer if he wants. And between all of those, I think some of these operator bans, like we were talking about in the previous operator bans, could help shut that down a little bit. But we've seen some interesting operator bans from Rogue in the past. They were the ones to ban Blackbeard and Jaeger last time, and that was a bit different than everyone else, I would say. And maybe we'll see some creative ones this time. Mouse, unfortunately, not a lot of confidence in them just yet, but hey, it has happened before when these guys, like I said earlier, as Infamy, with a little bit of different lineup, had knocked them down. Obviously, that was not a great day for Rogue, but we'll see what kind of day it's going to be for them today, because you can't be the best all the time. So we'll see.
I think Shas can say something about that. But
well, that team lost 2 lands. So
there you go. Well, there you go. Our matchup is ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to head into Coastline yet again, into sunny southern Spain. We'll see what it brings us in the second one. I'll remind you that both of these teams play very differently compared to SK and to Noble, theoretically at least. We'll see how they plan this one out. Of course, we start with our ban phase. As a reminder, it's A, B, B, A. So mousesports bans 1, then Rogue will ban 2, and then Mouse for the last. And Glaz, unsurprisingly, will get banned. Very strong operator in general. That extra 50 RPM that he gets in this patch has definitely been a huge deal.
Well, we'll see, though, what the other creative is going to be. Now, last time they did ban Glaz, and so both of these guys banning what they banned last time first, because they both banned, or Mouse banned Glaz last time, so.
Mira Jaeger, or Mira, I see Mira Jaeger, Mira Echo, or Mira Maestro.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. No.
Valkyrie.
Well, there is the surprise one. They do not want what Hot and Cold did last time, or last match there, to happen to them, although they will not be starting on defense, so they definitely will be potentially subject to the same treatment in the first 5 rounds.
When Rogue played their matchup, did they have a ban on Mira?
Yeah, I believe so. But Echo, there we go. Ooh, this is the exact same bans Mouse did last time.
Oh, I love this. We finally get Mira, and I finally get to talk about Mira walls. Oh boy.
As if we didn't have a season of that already.
What can I say? I love to talk about those kind of setup. Mira brings a ton of utility to the table. That's why whenever she's available, players will go for her instantly. And that's Vandal's job in this one. You see Mute, Smoke, Jaeger, Castle, and the Mira, Capitao. We've been seeing quite a bit of Capitao, but unfortunately the crossbow has not really been used too well by very much most players that are picking it. Slash will switch away to the IQ. I wonder if he's bringing the G8 LMG this time.
Well, there's a different 6-pick there over to Alibi. That's one we've seen sometimes go from being the pick to being picked off. But we talked about Vertical as a roamer before, and that is definitely a roam operator, one you could take advantage of here. And so I do think Vertical will be doing it. In fact, he puts him right behind a deployable shield. That is a fun way to do it. Could have put him a little bit more to the side like he's hiding behind the bomb, but either way, they are going to want to pre-fire that delivery doorway, or that, the delivery doorway there. So now we are seeing more and more teams wanting to play kitchen, something we were talking about earlier, where if there's no mirror, you don't want to play penthouses often, but it's allowed here, and they're still wanting to start down kitchen.
So you see what a lot of teams have been doing as well is if they're not bringing a Mira, what they'll do is set up a reinforced wall and then bring a camera as well, like a indestructible camera in front, or a bulletproof camera in front.
Or Maestro.
Yep. And you know that obviously offers a ton of information to play around. It's much more difficult to break down that camera as well. You'll need explosives. Of course, the castle being a big part of this defense. The mirror window's already been set up. There's one upstairs, and where they're set up here, they are set up in the penthouse, and they have the second one as well down here with Neptune's looking through it in the kitchen. So gotta be very careful. 552 being brought by Slash. He's has been a big proponent of the G8, but
Yeah,
not this time.
I think he's the only one we've ever seen play with the LMG as well.
Yeah.
So he definitely gets creative with IQ.
Sure, Slash, come on in here. They need the drone-ins from Clips. Of course, now that you can switch around between all of the drones, no problem. It's a lot easier. Some teams have been coming out and saying maybe we'll need just someone that only does droning and watches cameras the whole game because it's so important. But the smoke will come in right in front of the mirror window, and that'll force Hyper away. You see Rogue very efficient here in taking down the mirror window in the first line of defense for mousesports. In the meantime, though, easily will take half damage. Just a quick spray from the Jaeger. They'll try to contest the mirror window from below as well, as Eclipse bringing breaching charges here just to play against those defenders that are mostly anchoring and staying on site.
I love how, like you said, efficiently they just took that site by storm. You could tell that was a practiced plan.
Yes.
That was like step 1, step 2, step 3, execute fast. Fortunately, easily, not only not finding shots, but taking a bit of damage himself, though. And then Neptune's managing to get at least some damage out himself. It's not looking great for either team just yet in terms of getting frags out in the first minute 45 seconds, already having passed.
All right, lifelines will be used as well. It's a substitute for, a buck. I wonder how the tac crossbow will be used here. They used one bolt early on to open up a wall, and Eclipse really hungry for the kill. Brian's gonna get the first one here to take down Vertical, so no more alibi. Vandal still looking down the holes that were opened up previously by the breaching charges of the Zofia.
Oh, no.
As he gets tagged as well in the bathroom, has to run away, exposing himself in the Lamborghini doorway.
Well, he is definitely forced to flee here, and that's the mirror already offside. Already C4 expended as well, about to get pinched. This is not looking good for Mouse.
Slash very smart here. He knows he's going to have to play against the Mira. So you know what? He just sticks it back, and Brian will get the second one on Hyper. So that's now the Jaeger eliminated, as well as the alibi. Good spot, easy kill on the Miras. Neptune's half health will have to fall back on the site. But we come down to the last 10 seconds. The push has not come in just yet. Slash will get one from the outside as Neptune's last man alive with 5 seconds left on the clock. They'll find the angle as Gio Abana watching in from the preset open wall. Get the last kill. And this is the setup we were talking about. This is very different than what we saw SK setting up, with more of a reinforcement on the hallway to kitchen walls. Here, it was just, let's just shotgun the whole thing so we can deal with anybody contesting from the hallway.
I feel like that's risky because you potentially open up lines of sight from all the way across the other side of the courtyard as well. Gives ACOGs a bit of a slight advantage. However, that was, again, another flawless round to start things out like we saw last match. Now, we saw who was the winner at the end of the day after that flawless round. Despite a little bit of a comeback by SK, it ended up being Noble. Looks like we could see some similar trend here coming out from Rogue versus Mouse. And I got to give credit to Brian, who I've seen a lot of great Thatcher plays by him in the past, but 2 early frags like that, that is a surprise for me in terms of, I don't think Brian's incapable of it. I just would think we haven't seen that a lot from him, from a Thatcher to get those early kills. Because we saw Eclipse spending most of his time trying to do some carpentry work on that floor and just not finding any bodies, just using up all of his bullets practically to try and hit something down there.
At least the thing that you can take away from it is that he did a lot of damage, and at the same time forced the anchors to either run away from the site, which is what we saw with the Mira, or try to contest him for so long that allowed his teammates to spread out and get in favorable positions to then contest the site.
Well, it certainly wasn't useless. It just would have been a little more useful had it landed on maybe a head or two. But either way, we're not going to see this time Vertical's not going to go for the alibi. Instead, he's going to be playing on the Jaeger. I imagine he's still probably going to roam. He's just such a roamer. I mean, he's the one player to bring Caveira out in Pro League. He's definitely...
And it worked out fine for him. Or mind you, Cafe, when he played Cafe with a Cav, it was absolutely fantastic, the 3K that he ended up getting there.
Well, he cannot be contained, I think so. He will definitely be off-site once he gets his setup done. Unfortunately for him, Brian was able to catch him last time right by, I believe it was Cool Vibe Stairs. Slash, again, doing his job to help Brian out, know if he needs to thatch or anything. So that combo we used to see, for example, on Cafe when they were first kind of pushing that idea of the IQ thatcher on top of the roof. Doing something similar here, but not necessarily depending as much on Brian, I think, for that.
Standard setup here by Rogue. I see that they're bringing quite a bit, of breaching charges. They want to play around with them. They realize, okay, we don't want to expend our lifelines. They are extremely powerful bits of utility, so we'll just get to use the breaching charges. Zofia in this way can be modeled up to be used as pretty much of a soft breacher as humanly possible, carrying just a ton of explosives in her backpack.
Yeah, it's definitely that combined with the frag grenades is definitely working out in terms of setting up a lot of angles. Not to mention, you're seeing Eclipse use his breach charges quite a bit as well to get a little bit of extra destruction. Oh, the roam from Vertical. Last time, again, it was shut down on stairs before. Playing stairs again seems like a risky move for him, but he wants to play both kind of halves of the map, top and bottom. So we'll see if Easily can dodge some shots a little bit longer this time. But they are attacking the same bomb site. So we're not seeing the exact same attack, though.
Even with the similar site, we see a different way in the setup of the defense and the way that you attack it as well. You see the blue bar has been taken control of, and try to drone into CCTV, as a lot of times you see a roamer that is set up in the security room, and that's exactly where you spot the castle that is sitting up in the back. Slash will try to contest here as Beastly's just waiting for a close angle to play against him. Unfortunately, as he's crossing in, he can't really go for the spot.
Timing.
Slash will just fall back, and I don't know if they can set up a claymore or something, but they'll definitely have to watch that angle just in case. See the push from the castle, but you see it running immediately here by the Habana, trying to go for the plant. Well, some angle. Capital will get taken down by Neptune's. Geo will try to go for the plant, but Vertical will get the second one on a Brian. And what an angle from Vandal comes in, and Eclipse jumps out to get the kill on Hyper. He's waiting for him to come on back to the site, but C4 from Vandal will connect, and Beastly rotating in. We talking about the security room. He comes in and gets the last kill here for mousesports. Seems like this setup worked out perfectly for them, and we talked about how important security room is for this defense as well. Not only do you have to have control of the top floor, but also of any positions where you see attackers can come in and contest the hallway or contest the main lobby.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that attack strategy just did not seem to work out nearly as effectively. You saw when the setup was above and how 1, 2, 3 they were in taking Penthouse. Just a completely different set of fights that time. Way more horizontal fights. They were just losing off of timing. Some of those fights I feel like Rogue should have won. Just did not seem like their timing was on. They weren't pre-firing well enough. They were trying to hold angles instead. Didn't work out. But now that means because they won Kitchen, they're forced to rotate sites. And they're going to go not too far away. They're just going to move right on over to the Blue Sunrise bar, which is right across the hallway from that Kitchen. And a little bit of a sixth pick over there to Bandit, so they're not necessarily going to be expecting that. But Brian's pretty much always on Thatcher, so that's kind of a given in this point. But either way, we'll see if they can attack. This is effectively, not sure which bomb site they were going to be expecting from them. You know, were they going to be expecting to fight Penthouse or Hookah or Blue Sunrise? Because this is, I wouldn't say the most popular second bomb site, but definitely one that has gotten more popular over time.
Alrighty then. You've seen how strong a smoke is on a site like this one. I'm surprised to see that, you know, we don't have any more anchor operators that are being brought out in this one.
Like Maestro.
Yeah.
Because he's not banned, so it's, if you can't bring the Echo, bring the Maestro, I think. And Yeah, the smoke is very useful, but you heard what Yeti had to say about the combination of those guys is very strong, especially what he mentioned about being able to see through smoke with Maestro's camera. That applies to your own smokes as well.
Yep.
So you go to smoke, and then you can see if they're pushing back, what they're doing, because you have those cameras. And we saw the great position of the Evil Eye last time in Sunrise Bar.
Just because, yeah, it's at a 90-degree angle, so you can flip around the camera all the way to the side. Sure, when the Maestro dies, you can't really change the angle anymore. But if it's preset correctly, then it's fairly easy to contest the attackers through it. You can see through your own smokes or their smokes.
Yep.
And you know what? It ends up working very well for the defenders, especially when you have that huge bar that separates you from the attackers.
Well, this time they are going to take a little bit more of that vertical control as Eclipse taking the same room as last time. But Beastly's going to be the one up here to contest them. And they also have a Legion Mine that's going to give them a little bit more intel. That's going to help Beastly out because they don't have a pulse or anything. But those Legion Mines going off and being called out by Beastly for himself, for the most part, will definitely help them stay alive a lot longer. But so many attackers upstairs. However, Eclipse is not one of them. Vertical with a nice initial kill onto the Zofia we saw so much utility from previously.
All right, I'll try to land the angle, but no, Vertical is ready from below. We'll get the shot through the floorboard. EMP is going to get thrown in as the IQ is already taken down 2 batteries, but now losing the Zofia and the IQ, that is a huge, huge bit of picks early on for mousesports. Brian will rotate down from the balcony here at the VIP lounge. Beastly just playing by the bookshelf and just being such a nuisance to the attacking side of Rogue. Even though they can hear him from the call, even though they know exactly where he is, it's very difficult to push him away from that tight angle.
Yeah, him being allowed to stay alive when you've only got 3 people left means if he rotates back to tight or takes shots at your guys like that, it's definitely going to be a problem. Hyper taking out Brian as well, just down to 2v5 here.
Well, Beastly's ready for the shot with a T5, and land the headshot here is Vertical. Got the last one with the Bandit taken down. Geo. It's a great second round for Mouse, and it seems like after that difficult round 1, they're just warming it in. And you know what? They're definitely showing a ton of skill preparation in this matchup.
Well, again, this is mirroring what we saw the first match. We saw a flawless round come out from Noble. Then we saw a nearly flawless round come out from SK. And then Noble brought it back hard. I don't know if we'll see a mirror again of that, but it is looking very similar so far on the same map here. But Penthouse is going to be coming out now that they won Bar. So after this, they can go back to Kitchen if they want to, but we'll see how they defend. Penthouse, we saw when they were trying to defend Penthouse when they were playing down in Kitchen, how fast they took that out. Eclipse finally going to change up his roles to the operator that Zofia tends to replace of Ash, and then a little bit of a 6th pick over there to Pulse. Little sneak peek. Poor Macy J is home.
People, 2018, people.
So much effort in those names sometimes.
Did you see that drama alert style tweet that Suzaku made?
No, I try not to.
Jacob is. I want to do it as like an MRI scan of the best memer NA, just to see what goes on in that brain of his.
You just see like a little hamster running on a wheel. Maybe little pair of hamsters just squabbling.
So sorry, Jacob. Anyways, we go back into the game as this one is a defense on the Penthouse, and because we have Mira, there's a big potential to see 2 windows that are set up here. Very standard. One will be on the reinforced wall, and the second one should be by its right-hand side here.
There it is.
No, they're going to reinforce both walls. Won't be a soft wall set up on the second. They're afraid of potential Capitao or Zofia because both can really deal with that mirror window very easily.
Well, when Eclipse has been bringing Zofia pretty much every time, yeah, you definitely want to reinforce that wall. I mean, you still have to worry about Habana, but nonetheless, definitely want to protect what, or against what you've seen come out time and time again. Slash still doing what he was doing before, trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm curious to see if Eclipse can do a little bit better on the operator change. Just because he's, I don't know, been struggling to get a lot of kills, sometimes dying a bit too early. You saw some of his stats earlier. Fortunately, his opening death's a little too high, in my opinion. But Beastly here, going to be a little bit of a problem for them once they start to take that top control. If they don't take control of the kitchen as well, you saw what happened last time when we had Heavy downstairs on that Pulse, how effective he can be.
Well, Vertical just set up in the hallway, in the L-ship hallway. as Geo will drone on in. We've talked about how important Hall of Fame is for any attack into the penthouse. So it's definitely your launching pad into an attack. Taking control of VIP is very important as well. And I'm not sure if the walls are reinforced as well by the bed. Are they? There's only...
Ooh.
Okay, so this is an odd way of reinforcing them, but just because they shot out the middle in this fashion, it makes it a lot more difficult to open things up. I wonder if Eclipse and Slash can help in this one with their own explosives. For Vertical, just contesting the hallway for as long as possible. Beastly downstairs in the kitchen with a pulse, an important part of the defense as well.
Vertical holding an interesting angle there, but Vandal the one to actually get that first kill onto Easily. The Capitao just struggling so much here from Easily, unfortunately. Can't seem to land a lot of kills himself, despite how much you talked him up earlier.
So the pressure, Devin.
That's what it is. He heard you, and now he's just nervous. Poor guy.
Well, Geo's droning in from the bathroom. Beastly still downstairs, and if he's not cleaned up and that timer runs really low, then it might turn to a bit of a problem here. A lot of damage done by Eclipse's Hyper will go down to a headshot, but Beastly will expose himself. They need to deal with him, and there you go. Eclipse will finish him off. So that is Beastly eliminated, leaving only 3 alive. A bit of damage done as well. He's Eclipse down on the floor. Vertical, rotating around, realizes he has the advantage. Gas canister is going to get thrown right into Geo, who goes down to Neptunes, putting him off.
Oh no!
Oh no, they'll get the drop. That's Vandal now down on the floor. Not sure if he even had an extra C4 to play around with, but look at the time, Devin. There's barely any left. And he comes in Vertical. How do you win this? Barely any health left on the Vigil. All up to Slash is 3 left, technically 2 left alive. Now only Neptunes left on the floor as they did pick up the Mira. And round number 4, even with this wall being opened up to contest, will still go the way of mousesports. I have to say that is super impressive to see how mousesports have come up. And even with 3 rounds on the board, looking at how North America so far has shaped up on Coastline, those defense rounds are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely. It's looking more like the way Noble played in terms of just huge control of the map in terms of defense. We saw, for example, Noble able to kind of just juke around a lot of the roamers. That doesn't seem to be the case here in terms of people like Vertical, like we were talking about. They know how to play those roamers very effectively. If you don't take them out early, it will come back to bite you. And you saw that from the Vigil play there. Definitely nice to see a little bit more effective play from Eclipse on the Ash, but he's going to go back to Zofia, potentially 6 picket. Easily, however, a little sick of Capitao. Going to go with something potentially more useful with a global ability of Lion. No 6 picks coming out there, so they will stick with that. Back to Kitchen. Let's see if they can do it again. This is the one bomb site they were able to attack successfully. However, it was won the second time around. So we'll see if they can exploit a similar defensive setup that they did the first time, or if they're going to. I would imagine if you're Mouse, you're going to go with the same defensive setup you did the second time around that was successful.
Vertical with the 6 kills. We talked him up as being a fantastic roamer. Well, you know what? He does not fail to show the skills.
No, he's not disappointing, that's for sure. And I mean, it's pretty much kill-wise going how I would expect for the most part. Maybe we're not seeing as much as we would like from Hyper, but they're all doing their job and doing their part. Beastly, even with that Leishman play that we saw, was very effective, just hiding inside VIP that one round. That was a good round for him. Not to mention doing a decent job on Pulse. So overall, I hope the one role change we're seeing here from Easily is going to be effective enough to make this work. Because this is definitely a bit of a struggle for Rogue that we didn't expect to see. Are we going to see part 2 of Infamy beats Rogue?
With how dominant Rogue have been in the past few months, it's definitely irregular to see them in a bit of a pinch here, but we've yet to see them on defense as, well, this is round 5, and after this round, we'll get to see them playing on the defense. Maybe they've got some cool strategies to show.
I would hope so, because, man, I would be a little disappointed, to say the least, in Rogue if this goes that heavily over to Mouse. I want to see a good game between these two, but I'm okay with Mouse winning. But I definitely don't want to see Rogue just playing poorly. Now, they are going this against the same attacking the same way they did on that defense the first round that worked, but the flanks potentially coming out here from the roamers of Beastly, Vandal, Vertical. It's it's gonna be tricky.
They even end up bandit tricking against the mirror window that is set upstairs here. This is why you see the Zofia struggling so much to deal with it. Hyper will rotate around to the other side just in case, as Eclipse expending most of his utility and so much time being lost as well for Rogue, as they haven't really been able to find much. The Mira still set up with the C4 in hand, but easily, finally, gets the kill.
There we go.
Vertical. It seems like Lion is that operator that players will bring out once they're getting a bit too frustrated. Hyper will fall back for just a bit as he's hit, and he's big C4'd here from below. Eclipse will go down. To Zofia will finally be removed from play, but Slash will run in and get the refrag on Hyper. And 2 players down for mousesports to the only one for Rogue. Slash will be down on the floor. Neptune started playing with a shotgun, but easily from above, finally bringing in the Lion. This is the operator that you bring when you're super frustrated, and it's so far working great for Rogue with only 2 left for mousesports.
Slash with like 1 HP left too. Vandal though, you saw him holding that C4 forever, turned it into a kill, turned his Vector into a kill. Now he's been a beast downstairs there, and now setting up a little bit of a rotate for himself. 2v3, they're definitely up to a fight here, but we're seeing Rogue really slow in these takes, down to 30 seconds now.
All right, Brian
laying down some cover.
try to move on in here as see the 2 smokes finally being used up by Geo. A kill coming in from Slash leaves only Beastly alive here as he knows where the plant is going, but sleepy Geo. Hopefully he's awake. Well, at least he's showing that he is awake.
Yeah.
Get the final kill in the round here. There you go. All I needed was that shoulder blade, and bam, right in the kisser.
Funny that Slash still managed to get a kill too with that low health. Again, not enough time for a reset. I'm just gonna go in and get what I can. It was interesting to me how the change-ups and rolls made a difference. You saw, for example, Eclipse not doing a whole lot on Zofia. I mean, utility-wise, he's doing fantastic for his team, but kill-wise, not so much. Switches over to Ashe, does fantastic. I mean, eventually dies, but gets, I think, 2 kills before that. Then, goes back to Zofia and gets none, pretty much. Then we see Easily go from Capitao to Lion. All of a sudden, he starts showing up as well. It's like, maybe a little late, guys. Maybe some of those operator change-ups need to come out sooner because they are working, but they're only 1 round down. They only lost they won the minority of those rounds, but someone has to win the majority of those. And we're going to see a 6th pick there from Vigil to Jaeger. That is a good one. I think Eclipse is usually good on both of those. And then there's that 6th pick Lion as well. But they are going to start on Penthouse rather than Kitchen. So we'll see if they're a little more effective on that. As you said earlier, with Mira in play here, not as much reason to start on Kitchen. Maybe bring on a Mute too.
Yep. We've definitely seen a bit of play Mute. Not really the same pick rate as we saw him in the previous season, however. Even with the bans coming into play, you'd expect his pick rate to go up. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been the case. He does bring a lot of utility to the board, but you'll see even an extendable shield that'll be set up. Brian setting up his mirror window to hold the hallway as they're afraid of pushes coming in from the stairs and from the aquarium, pushing it from that second hallway in. Hall of Fame will not be too contested this time. See only 1 reinforced wall that is set up in the bathroom. And, well, the buck is going to be brought here, so I wonder how they're going to play. How they're going to play with this.
He's very effective at getting people out of position in theater. Once you get below the theater, they're kind of playing, for example, behind the mirror window or playing in the back side of it. There are some great ways you could set up some angles from there. I mean, that might not be how he goes to play it, but he's also useful here. Once he opens the hatch, he can open up a line of sight into Hall of Fame through the top of the bathroom wall. But there's the first kill going over onto Slash already. The Bandit down, and that is going to make it difficult for them to do any kind of Bandit tricking, as you mentioned earlier, to try and stop the Habana Neptunes from opening stuff up. And they also are bringing a Ying here to try and storm on in if they can get that far, along with 4 grenades. So it's going to be a heck of a battle once they get that far, if they can.
That's a great start here for mousesports, of course, taking down the Bandit of Slash. Eclipse held up in blue bar. Now, you've seen how strong this position is to contest really anybody that wants to go up the blue vibes, the cool vibe stairs. That blue bar hallway is definitely a difficult part to deal with, but they have to come up through the main stairs. And the thing is, if you don't contest the Jaeger in here, he will come back and bite you very, very hard. He has to focus and tunnel vision onto the staircase. E1D will get used up here by the Lion Beastly. They'll be able to get a lot of damage onto Geo's Mute, but no real, no kill at the end of it, but still, big advantage for mousesports here in the setup, and what a position that they're setting up for. Eclipse might just walk right into this trap. They're trying to bait it out here with Hyper.
So close, too. The tension between these guys fighting around this bathroom. Eclipse, though, does finally get some ideas there. Pre-fires a little bit.
I love that angle. That is definitely something that is not easy at all to deal with, but of course with the Ying being played here by Vandal, might see Candelas just get thrown all the way in the back and make things a lot more difficult. Hopefully that was not the first Candela that was thrown in, would have definitely made things very difficult there to lose that ton of utility early on. No, that was not a Candela. There you go. Vertical will get the second frag for mousesports, taking down Eclipse. So now they don't have to worry about the player that'll come in from the side. The C4 will get thrown in, but still, even though Neptune survives, it's Brian that'll be able to get the kill from a side angle. Hyper contesting from below as they'll pop the mirror window. The Candela's being thrown in. Do they spot the smoke on the floor? No, he just peeks in it, doesn't spot it, and easily will shut it down. Hyper will get one more, but easily still ready with a shotgun in hand, and Hyper from the other side, coming in from the projector, gets the kill and moves in for the final one. It's so hilarious to see the smoke prone on the floor, right in front of the bed, and still just not spotted. But mousesports with a 2-round advantage against Rogue, definitely something that not many people would have expected here, especially seeing the overwhelming majority of you guys did vote for or did expect Rogue to win this one out. Well, you know what? Mousesports are 2 rounds away from taking 3 points and them being their first 3 points on the board.
Yeah, that definitely would have not been my vote in terms of a scoreline so far. Obviously, plenty of time for them to bring it back in terms of it'd take 2 more rounds for Mouse to take this, but we saw what happened again last time when it was a similar situation for Noble. It is a tough comeback here. Beastly going to switch again to that line, but it has been a struggle for Rogue today. They do not seem as coordinated as we saw, especially from a team like Noble earlier. The coordination was just on point. It's just seeming like they're all individually kind of trying to do their thing. Some of the plays are working, some of the plays are not. But overall, just the flexibility that we're seeing in terms of play from the guys on Mouse is much, much better. I mean, I wouldn't say it looks super coordinated either, but at the same time, they're winning a lot more of their fights, and they're catching Rogue by surprise a lot more often. Maybe Rogue are just too used to their scrims and not necessarily as prepared to fight these guys individually.
Look at the amount of reinforcements, though, that they're setting up in a projector here. That's reinforcements from 4 out of the 5 players that are all set up in here. The last 2 will 100% be set here in the bedroom, right? Just to protect. No, they have 1 on the hatch.
It's a Faraday cage in there. They do not want anyone to get into theater. They're like, come on into bedroom. We don't care. We'll reinforce the 1 wall we care about, but please do not touch our theater.
That is everything expended just to make sure nobody pushes in to the projector.
Yet last time they got shot from behind in there.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if that'll work. I mean, yeah, it does force everyone through the doorway, but it's not too hard for Buck to do some damage, potentially even from below, just to force them out of there, because he can't reinforce the floor, unfortunately, as much as you like to. We'll see if Hyper goes for that this time or not, though, as he seemed a little bit focused on some different angles last time. Open up windows to start with. We'll see if those Candelas will be effective again. And last time, obviously, that didn't help too much when Smoke was able to just hang out on the floor. But nonetheless, it definitely turned into a win that round. And I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like this could go to 5 first for Mouse before Rogue are able to step it up. I mean, they're going to be playing the same bomb site again, the same basic defense. Like you said, a bit more reinforcements on theater. But otherwise, I'm not seeing a lot of adaptations from Rogue that are looking towards actually winning some of these rounds.
Seems like it's a bit of an oddity to say that, because Rogue is definitely one of the teams that is always ready to adapt to anything that their opponents are ready or trying to throw at them. But I guess at least in this round here, set up
again, Beastly.
Yeah, those tiny walls that they want to use to their advantage, small openings that they can look for, contest hallways from start to finish. Hyper will go in for the droning. Not spotted anybody just yet. There we go. He'll lose out his drone, but at least they understand here, Mouse, that the entire walls here are reinforced. Just got to be very careful how you approach it. However,
Located.
if they can actually breach into the back wall, it'll be very easy to go in for a plant and not need to worry about getting shot from odd angles.
It surprises me too. They don't even bring a Thatcher on Mouse, whereas they consistently bring one on Rogue. Yet nonetheless, they're doing just fine to 9 Bandit, and then Hyper taking down Eclipse on the roam, just shutting them down time. Slash here as well might not live all that long. I imagine him getting maybe 1 kill before he gets shut down, but even then misses too many shots on it, and now they know where he's at.
Hyper not taking any damage in that engagement, realizes that the stairs very important, of course, for the defense. Neptunes will chime on in here as he gets himself into the site. Vertical contesting as the Candelas will get thrown into the penthouse. And Vandal will come in, but the C4 from Brian will be waiting for him here. As easily will get spotted. Vertical will get one. Brian moving around on the Mira, but he's not spotted just yet. Easily getting the burn on Neptunes to take him out. Vertical's with the refrag as Brian gets one more. There you go, the Vector doing work. Diffuser's down on the floor with 8 seconds left on the clock. A Slash gets one, and Rogue looking finally for the round here as turns to a 2v1 with 2 seconds left on the clock. Beastly on his own against the Mira, can't get the spray, and the defenders will take round number 7 as finally Rogue will show up in this on this side of the defense and bring it in.
Well, the Legion goo mine helping win the round there. It's completely slowing down the line, and that helped force them into a situation where I don't think Lion was really going to be able to clutch that out. But either way, again, way too close of a fight for Rogue. I got to give credit, though, to Slash with that rotate around using their own Habana hole against them. Was exactly what they needed to do, but a little late to be doing that. No matter how much they've reinforced that room, it's still penetrated every single time. They lose too many people in that room. I'm not sure Penthouse is really the bomb site for them, but having won it now, they're going to have to play a different bomb site. Blue Sunrise is going to be their secondary. I'm hopeful that they're going to have something more in store here, but actually switching off of the Maestro, like we were saying earlier, how effective that Maestro was. Instead of going to go with the Bandit, I mean, I guess Slash was okay on the Bandit roam last time, but the batteries themselves, again, without even having a Thatcher, still completely denied. It's still relatively ineffective, other than maybe saving the mirror window.
Alrighty then, we'll see. Rogue have something up their sleeves for this one here as we go into the bars. Again, surprisingly, no Maestro.
Nope. Disappointing.
Okay. Easily reinforced the left-hand side wall as right now the right-hand side, well, in this case, the left-hand side. Thank you very much.
In case there's a blitz.
Yes, in case there's...
Just in case, right?
Yeah, well, Brian will set up his window to watch the hallway. It's something that on a map like Skyscraper, we used to see quite a bit of that. If you're defending upstairs in the tier room, you could have one just watch through the hallway. It's a very important position here, and just because you can have that rotation hole to move in between the two bars and the wall in front of you in the back of the bar makes it a lot easier for you to set up behind a mirror window and play against anybody pushing through the hallway. You can even, if you set up an angle correctly, you can have some line of sight on people coming in from the kitchen and the Cool Vibe stairs.
Looks like he's trying to figure out what that is down there. At that point, you definitely see those are batteries, yeah. And sometimes it is a little bit hard to spot because of the waves to tell what the shape is. There's that soft wall. There it is, taking off nearly 30% or so of his health.
They have to use their Habana X-Kairos pellets on a soft wall. That's how important it is. There you go. Vertical just coming in. He spots the Bandit batteries that are set up behind the reinforced wall. Of course, with no Thatcher being brought up here by mousesports, it'll make it a bit more difficult to push in here. That's why you saw the Habana pellets being used in. Flashes, grenades, well, they can come in, but there's 3 ADSs that can protect in there. 2 that are behind the bar, as of course, Sunrise Bar is one of the easiest places for smoke to play around. We've seen a ton of players showing their proficiency by just using that angle to their advantage.
This is where you'd almost wish you had that Capital, right? Just to get past those 2 ADSs, get some fire at the back of that bar where he is right now, and that would do some serious damage. Nonetheless, though, they will go with Candelas and an E to lay it out, but unfortunately, that was the last Candela. Grenade, however, thanks to that burned ADS, finally working out for Vertical, and easily the one most important operator there. Down for the count now, but only a minute left.
All right, 4v5. mousesports have taken a bit of damage on their Hibana of Neptunes. Still, Beastly control here of the kitchen. He sprays everywhere. Beastly will go down to Geo. And even the softball being used again against Vandal, taking so much damage in this as Vertical kicks a second one. And there you go. That's Slash on the floor. Finally, Vandal will find the angle on Eclipse and go in for the diffuser plan as Brian in the back has no info. Well, you know what? Doesn't matter. He goes in for 1 kill. Can't play the C4 as Hyper has the angle against him, and Neptunes take out Geo. A round will go the way of mousesports as now at least they guarantee 1 point for them in the standings at the end of the day, which is, you know, 1 point more than what they had before. And they are 1 round away on match point.
That is a scary thing for Rogue to be at this point. They're finally going to play Kitchen, though, and let's hope this is the ace up their sleeve, even though it's their 3rd bomb site, because they've just not been showing up. A round like that, though, is why I feel like Jaeger needs a buff. Just so many throwables, and you saw a 2 for 2 with grenades from Vertical, both getting kills. I mean, yeah, you burned off the Candelas, but the grenades were, I would say, a little bit more effective than Candelas will be. And I mean, the early kill on the smoke definitely made a difference, though, you got to admit, because that allowed access into the room. You saw even that part where Vandal stepped up onto a little bit of a incline there and was able to get a shot down onto the top of the head behind the bar. So just being able to take advantage of getting inside the room made a big difference for them. But I do like that the soft wall at least slowed them down a little bit. There's that 6th pick over the line again. What a surprise. Totally didn't see that coming. I mean, I know there's a lot of critics of the 6th pick. I'm probably one of the few people who thinks it's interesting, and I think it probably needs a little bit more time. But when you just do the same 6th pick over and over, you're kind of working against my point, guys.
I mean, I don't want to say this, but oh my God, Vertical on 12 kills.
Jeez. Someone wants MVP.
Well, he's, you know, he's living up to the hype.
Yeah,
definitely the case.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite players on that team, absolutely, just because his plays are a little bit nutty, but they work. And he's always one of those guys you just cannot predict.
All right, well, now we're on a defense downstairs in the kitchen and the stock room. The bathroom is an important part of this as well, as we're to see the reinforced walls come out. Though a lot of reinforcements that are set up upstairs, we've seen how strong this could be. You know, taking control of the projector room, you know, the theater, using your buck. But there you go. Slash comes in for the quick peek early on, and that's Vertical removed. They kind of realized, we got to take one out, and that was the IQ. That is a huge pick in this round, especially when Rogue will be dealing with the Legion. Yeah. So it's a lot more difficult to look, check where he is. Bandit batteries are going to be a lot more difficult to take down now because you'll have to rely on drones and get exact positioning. But with the way that Rogue will be playing now, it's just probably more you know, anchor type on the site. It'll be much more difficult to get information off.
They can get so aggressive. I mean, look at Slash already pushing up to the front door. This is a team that sometimes really struggles with containing themselves. Getting an early pick like that's just going to encourage Slash. However, you know, that was an important pick. That could have been the round changer right there. That could bring this up to a 5-4 situation and maybe even a tie if that helps with that. But either way, the rest of these guys are no slouch. It's just taking out someone like Vertical is a way to give them quite a bit of handicap on this attack.
And while you see the Buck watching the window upstairs in the loft, just making sure that nobody peeks them as has been the case early on. Candelas will get thrown in here as Vandal will move in. No signature 612 here, but it doesn't really matter. He just runs in and gets 2 kills off of it. Mousesports with a beautiful round here. Fantastic time execution on the site, and this might just be the end of it as we're at 4 players versus the 3. Well, now the 2 of Rogue. Only the T95 is spraying in here. Just trying to take him out. Vandal with 1 more in the round. Eclipse getting 1 in the Jaeger. Spotting the last one, knows that he is right behind here, but the mirror window gives Vandal all the amount of info that he wants. And you know what? He'll get the 4K at the end of the round. Mousesports, surprisingly enough, will get the victory here against Rogue to end it all. And, you know, this is a 6-3 victory that I don't think many people expected, especially looking at the polls.
That was, wow. That last round especially. Oh, you killed my friend Vertical? Well, that's fine. I'm going to flash all of you and just run in and shoot you from a foot away.
5v4.
Wow. That was... They're ready to take a break even at this point. Just unfortunate for Rogue. That was not what anyone expected, I would say. I mean, that first matchup, I think, went maybe more along the lines of what we were thinking. That one, definitely not. Rogue,
There you go.
See,
Just to confirm,
even
mousesports.
production was ready for Rogue to win that, I think.
Oh boy, there you go. mousesports will take the victory 6-3 in total on Coastline. That was our second Coastline for the day. Will we have another one? Who knows?
Well, either way, though, that was fantastically played.